Yeah, we're just winging it tonight.
Yeah,
This
we're winging
is
it
the great
because our
legend of
host.
coming at you live. We are live tonight with the Golden Guys, man. And first, right out the gate, we want to do and pay some respects to, man, the one, the great JD Comics. Get well soon. Don't get gone too soon. Man, we're here live tonight, fans. We got DS Comics is here with us live. We got Golden Age Guru. Man, one of the best collections I've ever seen in the Golden Age comic book community. And none other than Midset Comics and Preston and doing what he knows best.
Are you live?
Wearing that damn good beard tonight. Well, it's good to see you live. Tonight, fans, we got a great show. Top 10. We're going to be going into the top 10 best Golden Age books all time. You know, I want to get each one of your top 10s. And I also want to see what you've been doing currently in the Golden Age community. DS, I'm going to throw it to you, man. You've been here a long time. You know a lot of good rhymes. Tell these fans what they need to know about the Golden Age, because this is the show.
All right, thanks for the intro, Legend. Awesome as usual. Yeah, what's up, guys? So I hadn't really bought many bigger PC books this year, but I've been picking up some recently. I've got two here that came in. I'll show these off. I got another one on the way, so I feel like I just was flipping and selling some stuff for the first part of the year here, but I've been picking up some bigger stuff lately. This one is not a massive book, but it's just really hard to find, and I feel like this should be hanging in a gallery instead of on a comic book cover, but it's Battlefront 26.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw when you got that one. I was like, that's
yeah, this thing is it's such a cool Russ Heath cover. Very tough to find. There's only 4 on the census, but I think that'll grow as this genre
It's so clean.
gets a little more attention. But yeah, it's a 5.0, off-white to white, Golden Age, and not an action cover, just a classically drawn, awesome cover. So yeah, really digging these Adam Age war books. And this is I don't know, this is one of the, for people that are into this category, I think this is one of the upper ones, one of the better top tier war books, and I've been sort of getting into them. So yeah, I'm really happy to pick up that.
It's like he's the brave soldier and he's got the mine detector. All the other soldiers have guns behind him. They're locked and loaded, but this guy's got the mine detector and he's just waiting and seeing if he's going to hit that mine.
And everybody tells me this looks like Lieutenant Spears from Band of Brothers, which I just started watching.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to agree. It does look like him.
Band of Brothers is awesome.
So yeah, I've never watched it until just yesterday. I started watching it. So yeah, it's pretty good. And then of course, you know, pre-code horror I love. So I finally picked up one of these. Been looking for years.
I never knew.
It's been a couple of years I've been looking for a copy of this. It comes up sporadically. It's not the rarest, but it's not the most common. But it's just tough to find a nice copy with all the black. Mr. Mystery 18.
Yeah.
And one of the most chilling covers in pre-code horror. It's just got the decapitated.
It's definitely one of the better shrunken head ones.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his display wall back there. He's working on one there. He's got a couple in the pot, and then they're next. And it's got that black on the top. And it's a tough book. There's a 9.2 on the census, and then after that, it drops down to like 6.5.
It's a 5.0, but the black on that is real clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. It's got a few issues.
Yeah, like that top staple looks like it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, there's some wear at that staple, but otherwise, for a 5.0, pretty nice shape. You know, there's nothing majorly wrong with it. It's nice.
Yeah, that's a beautiful 5.0, man. I mean, like you said, like you got heads boiling in the pot on top of decapitation, on top of shrunken heads, and some voodoo thing going on. So you just can't. It's got everything that most EC or even any pre-code horror people would love. That's an awesome copy, man. Congrats,
Yeah, it definitely fits into a number of different. You know, you got the people who only go for shrunken heads, the people who go for decapitations. That's going to pull a lot of triggers.
Yeah, my PCH collecting has changed a little bit, where I'm sort of starting to gravitate more towards the harder to find, less cartoonish ones, and sort of the more chilling, realistic sort of character ones. So stuff like Black Cat Mystery 50, Chamber of Chills 19, I've sold those. Tomb of Terror 15, I've sold those. I don't own them anymore, and I'm replacing them with things like this. which, given it's not as big of a book overall in PCH, but these are more satisfying to me at this point. Like Chamber of Chills 19, pretty common PCH, huge book, obviously, but Black Cat 50 is a huge book. I've had those, and I'm appreciating these more these days. And this is not a small book; it wasn't cheap, obviously, but so that's the kind of stuff I'm picking up for PCH wise recently. But yeah, nice one there. That's it. I got another one on the way too. A Startling Cherry Pit 11 I picked up. That should be here tomorrow, so I'm happy to show that off.
Man, well, I tell you, real quick, we got to introduce one of the best, Michael Knights of Old. It's great to see you, man. I hope you're working from home, man. You're working from home.
He looks like he's been quarantined for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like you've been looking at that computer screen.
Got my own hair soon.
It looks like you've been looking at that computer screen, designing the best games that Bungie presents, man. You're looking at Knights of Old, one of the best. But Knights of Old, I want to go to the brand new crew. Golden Age Guru is here live tonight. Man, Golden Age. What do you got
live
on,
to whoever's asking him?
What's going on in your world of collecting, my friend?
A couple things of late. There's always something coming in, but I just had a couple books. One show up today and another the other day. If you see me twitching over here in the corner with hand gestures, just because my kids are trying to jump in and say what's up to the world. So if you don't mind, let me just get the junior gurus out for a second because they never seen any screen time, so they're kind of excited. This is Junior Guru number 1. This is Olivia. What's up, everybody? Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Junior Guru number 2, Brennan.
Ow.
Say what's up. All right.
What's up?
Hi. You guys said hi. Okay, say go Golden Age.
Go Golden Age.
All right, there you go.
Man, that's like a first appearance. Mark your calendars. First appearance of the Golden Age Gurus. Little Guru, little Guru sister was tonight.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, right.
When my daughter was in the hospital after she got on that time, she wants to be on every time now.
I gotta cut it off at some point, man. It's like, guys, come on, take up daddy's screen time. What are you talking about? So one book that came today that I didn't expect because the situation of the way I'm getting these books, just some things just pop up in the mailbox, and I'm not sure what's going to be bundled. But the Golden Age book was thrown in, and a good old Hit Comics number 1. Just fun new fine stuff, and I never really appreciated this cover that much to me out of all the stuff I've seen of his, but it's been a long time since I've had one in hand, so getting to see it again after a long period of time, I don't know, it just there's a lot to like here. You got a guy with I'm always putzing around these camera right angles here, but you got a guy with a big Gatling gun on him, a bunch of guys on a gun on a ship. I mean, it's just
dude's hanging off the bow with a gun in his hand. He's shooting
I
across
still
the
have some
lane.
nice gloss on it too.
It is. It's a really nice book. I mean,
number 1, man. Oh my God. What year did that come out?
This came out in, let's take a look here. Inside it says 40.
I was going to say, I think it's either 39 or 40.
40.
Yeah.
That's old school, man. That's the year Wiz Comics number 2 also hit the shelves.
Yeah, your Wiz. Your faucets, man.
I love those, dude.
You do.
I got to quit buying them,
Love's an understatement for you, man. It's past whatever past love is. You're there. And this was another one that came. This was on a Hakes auction. I just bought it. I don't usually buy stuff on auction much. If ever, it's rare. But it was an old label. It's a number 1. Some of you guys might have seen this on Instagram the other day. But number 1, old label 9.0. I looked at the photos really carefully. And yeah, it's a nice book.
I think they took their time grading on those original CGC labels.
Yeah.
They were less busy.
They were definitely stricter on the old ones.
Yeah,
and less busy on that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
is that a CPR book for you there?
Yes, it is. I'm hoping for a 9.4.
Nice.
I'll take a 9.2. Fine, but I think there's potential there. So it's a nice book. Obviously, Namora, cousin to Namor, and I don't know. I mean, it's not a Marvel Mystery Comics 82 first appearance, but still something cool that just came in, and see what happens. And that's one of the questions I have too, because like you're looking CBCS, I thought I heard maybe closed because of the whole COVID thing. So I don't know if CGC is going to be doing the same around the corner. So I'm just not sure if I'm going to submit stuff yet or wait till some of this passes by. I don't know if any of you guys have heard anything about that.
You have to balance with the fact that there's no con crunch this year.
Yeah. So.
Well, CBCS is closed right now, and CGC, I think they're staying open, but I've got 2 packages of CGC. Both were scheduled for grading. One moved to grading quality control today. So as of right now, CGC is cranking along, and I hope I get my 2 batches shipped back out to me before, if they do shut down. But for now, they're up and running. But CBCS is closed, but they have a new holder that they're unveiling on April 1st. I think that's still the plan. So I'm not sending anything else to anywhere until they come out with their new holder. And if it looks legit, I'm going to give them a shot and send a batch off to them. So we'll see. I'm not sending anything out for grading right now, though, just because of what's going on. I don't want stuff being trapped somewhere for months.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I just hope they get, I know it's probably a big adjustment for CBC and CBCS alike. So hopefully they can get their stuff together, because we're talking with Knights. Man, Knights of old. Let me get to you, Michael. One of the best, one of my favorites. Wow. Man, you love the Wonder Woman Golden Age. You love it all, man. What do you got going on?
Tell you what,
I saw some good deals on CGC forum. There was a Marvel one with no back cover that sold for 10 grand. Just
to some
deal.
Guy.
That was a good deal.
Some lucky guy.
Oh.
Did you get that? Mike, did you get that?
I did.
Okay.
If I saw it, I would have maybe done it, but I probably would have hesitated because it went fast, and there was like 5 or 6 guys who were like, I would have bought that, like real soon. But every now and then you'll get some old timers who don't want to deal with eBay or whatever, and you have to pay a lot of fees and stuff. So
I hate them damn eBay fees.
Hey, that's a lot on 10 grand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been cool, but I probably wouldn't have been able to get that anyway. But I would have thought about it, and then it would have been gone.
What kind of books behind you is Galactus fixing to eat? Because he is a world eater. I'm sure he'll eat comic books as well. You got any Golden Age treasures back there?
Nah. I've just been kind of cleaning stuff up.
Yeah.
There's not too much gold in here. Just some silver stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, man.
It's that first evolutionary. All right.
Dude, this may be a monumental moment, fans. He just showed a Silver Age book on a Golden Age show here live on Top 10 Gold.
When I was a kid, this was on the comic shop walls, and I always dreamed of having it.
Ooh.
First Frank Miller.
It was like $20 or something. I was like, whoo, someday.
Yeah, so that Marvel Mystery Tech 31 is in the chat. He's saying $30K discount on that. So that was a complete book, other than the cover was missing, but the interior was complete. Is that what the deal was with it?
No, back cover missing. That's it.
The front cover was there and the full interior?
0.5 copy. I mean, I'm not shocked. 30K, I'm sure a few people would jump on that potentially. 20,
yeah,
20 for sure. I think 20 would have sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard sales of almost 40 or around that for something like that, but which I feel is a little high, but wouldn't surprise me. So 10 though is just like, oof. But yeah, hopefully there'll be more of those.
Damn, dude, Game Boy Advance SP, bro, man, I love that shit, man. That was one of the best systems ever, man. And you got it on display because that's the only way. That's nice of old people. You're getting the best right there.
It's got too much time at home now.
Man, well, I got to go to this guy. I got to be on the know. Midwest, what have you been doing with that sexy beard?
Just growing it out.
Yeah.
Between me and Michael not being able to go get our haircuts, I think it's time to invest in Flobies.
Yes.
Got no new books this week, but
right here, man. Gone too soon, man.
Yeah,
the hair gone too soon. That's like one of the easy ways, man.
But I did get something today that'll be shipped to me tomorrow, so I'll have it probably for next week's show, and it has some. DS and I were talking about had some historical significance.
We had some good times. We had some good rhymes over the years. Well, what's your beverage of choice tonight, my friend?
Right now I'm drinking where'd I put the box for? It's a Firestone Parabola Vintage Imperial Stout.
Damn, dude, that's some fire. That's some Donnie Cates stuff right there, man. Good God. Well, man, it's great to see all y'all live. And I haven't done this in a long time, and my good friend Seawood19 would tell me not to rhyme, but to do where it's at. So we're going to be checking that chat. Tonight we have here live Chris Barrett, always one of the best blue moderators in the comic book community. We got the golden guys. We got DS Comics, Midwest Comic Man are in the house. One of the OG of the comic book community and loves his silvers. But man, he's going after his golds. And I'm talking Alex, the comic order, is here live in the chat tonight, fans. And he wants to know the top 10 gold. Air Boy the Barbarian, one of the best in the Midwest. Actually, I don't know if that's where he's from. I just tried to make a rhyme and good stuff here. All right, Mr. Gretzky99, good to see you, Mr. Gretzky. Hey, Mr. Gretzky, God, we go back to 2011 back in the day. DS is back in the chat. I'm just checking the chat. Everyone's having a good time. Captain Comics, almost missed him, but he's here live. Captain Comics. We got the Stream Element bot, but we got Mark Knapp 6A. What's going on, Mark Knapp? We want to also let people know we got John's Comics with Kids, giving some love to the CB. Hey, but dude, CB, his name's John, not Mark. Come on, bro. All right, so let's keep going on the down low here. Kachoo! He says, hey, golden guys. It's good to see Kachoo tonight. Getting some love and some chat delight right there. Knights of old, man. Goddamn, one of the best, man. Michael. Love me some Michael, dude. God,
I got
Michael, we've known each other a long time, Michael, on this YouTube stuff, man. Damn. Love being here live with you tonight. I'm having a fangasm, but man, we're not going there. We're going golden age. And we got Tech 31 Kid in the house, and also Brad getting some love in the chat tonight with the green little hammer. And man, that's what I'm talking about. Samuel David to close out the chat. And we're going to go back to where it's getting, and that's the golden age, man. We're going straight to Midwest Comic Man here, fans. Checking him out here. He looks like an 8-ball. You know, it's like you want to play pool with the guy. You know, you chalk up the fuel stick, and then you poke him in the face. Man, Paul, it's good to see you here live tonight. And tonight, fans, we're going to be talking about our top 10 golden age. You know, I want to know each one of your list, you know, your favorite 10 golden age you would go with. And, you know, it could be monetary. Say you want that Action Comics #1 and you were the person that stole it from Nicolas Cage's house back in the day. Or do you want to look at some of that pre-code horror? I tell you, we have people on this panel that do it their own way. And I'm going to start out tonight, DS Comics, man. Top 10. I'm going to DS because he has one of the best.
All right, so top 10 golden age books. You know, I'm not. You all can talk about Action Comics and Tech 27,
and Wiz Comics 2, all that
superhero stuff out there. You know, that's not really what I'm into. But what I'm into is the category I call Dark GA, which is, you know, non-superhero sort of horror, mystery, noir, some dark themes on the cover art. That's generally what I'm into. So obviously, for me, the top 3 in that category probably. And one, people might argue, is not in that category, but I think Suspense Comics 3 is at the top of that category, consensus-wise. You know, that used to be my top, but I think that's dropped down to number 2 for me personally, but that's probably the consensus #1 in the Dark GA category. The consensus number 2 probably, I don't know, maybe it's not consensus 2, but it's up there as Fantastic Comics 3, and that's my favorite one, and that's a classic Blue Fine robot cover. Those, I think, are the top 2. But then you've also got Punch Comics 12, arguably up there as well in the top 3. Classic skull cover on that one is a Chester, I believe. And after that, you know, a book that's really moved up the list a lot is Mask 1, the LB Cole classic.
Oh, Mask 1, LB Cole.
Yeah, I personally don't think that's top 10 Dark GA. But man, based on prices in the last 6 months or so, that one has got to be considered a top 10 Dark GA book at this point with the prices. I saw 5.0 go for over 20 grand recently. That book is really hot, and I hear people comparing that to the next Suspense 3. I don't know. It's a book I want, but I'm not as big on it as a lot of people. But it is definitely a cool book. And then you got a book like Adventure 27, that shark cover. I don't know if that qualifies as dark GA, but I think it does. Super hard book to find, and that's up on the list too. And then one that I really think is on the list, but nobody talks about it because you never see it. And it comes up occasionally, and it's one of my absolute favorite books. It's very high on my list. Is Dynamic Comics #8, and that is a book you just never see, and it's just it's another Chesler, and it's just such a bizarre, dark cover, and it's just I don't know. Dynamic Comics 8. If anybody has one, that's a book I will buy right now. That was like near the top of my list, and yeah. So those are dark GA, some of the top books. And then you got some other ones like Hit 5 makes an appearance on there for people. Scoop 2, I think. Probably Mask 2 climbs right up there with Mask 1. So yeah, those are some of the top 10 dark GA books. And so far, I'm the only one calling it a dark GA category, but it's really a distinct category of books with a distinct section of collectors that go after that stuff. And it includes pre-code horror and stuff earlier than that. That's just dark themes, mystery, noir, horror, sci-fi, stuff like that. So there's someone thrown out for top 10. And yeah, all of those are on my list. None of them are in my PC yet.
Dark freaking GA fans, you're hearing it here live tonight. Golden Guy's Top 10 Gold. That was DS. He's one of the best of the Golden Age scene in the YouTube comic book community, and he is here live tonight. Man, let me ask this, Paul. We go way back. We used to ride all the days when we was jumping all different ways in the potato sack. But what I want to get at, brother, is I want to know your top 10, the top 10 Golden Age from the bearded one set in his ways.
That changes almost on a daily basis for me. I'm definitely a kind of eclectic with my Golden Age stuff. I kind of jump around a lot, but some stuff that I've always wanted for a long time. I mean, I would have to start with probably Exciting Comics #9, First Black Terror. Always loved that character. Another character I've always loved, Crash Comics 4, First Catman. Love Flessel on New Adventure. I think I'd probably go with. I know there's a Frogman cover, but which I think is 28, which I definitely have on my list. But 24 has always been one of my favorites. The one where it's the adventure and the Indian in the canoe going over the falls. Let's see, More Fun 52. All-Star 3.
All-Star 3. Damn.
Well, All-American 16, but that's a ghost. And I don't remember which issue it is, but the Frazetta Ghost Rider cover where he's bursting out of the grave. Let's see, that's probably about 8.
You're talking about the Frazetta cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
I think it's 4.
I think it's 4. Yeah. I just looked at one today. Honestly, there's a Canadian. I looked at a Canadian edition of that, which for that book, I wouldn't mind owning the Canadian edition to that.
Yeah.
I don't know
it's
why.
all about the cover on
Sometimes
that.
I don't want UK version. I don't want Canadian edition. But I feel like a book like that in the Golden Age, a lot of most of the Cheslers after a certain point were printed in Canada anyway. They're not Canadian editions, but there's a lot of Canadian overlap in the Golden Age that seems more acceptable to me as a collector. And that would be one of those books. You can get a huge discount on it too. You get a nice copy for a fraction of the price of the Canadian version.
Yep. Let's see. Come up with 2 more. Well, Captain America #1.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm a huge Cap fan.
It's a timely, it's an atlas. It's a historic classic.
And just to throw an oddball one out there, Miss Fury #1.
Miss Fury #1. Oh, all right.
Dude,
I thought Crash Comics 4 was the odd one. That Catman on Crash Comics 4, that Catman on there is an interesting character, right? Like, kind of changes.
What I love is the first two or three stories he showed up in, they kept on playing up how he had 9 lives and he would die at the end of the issue. And they said, well, we're not going to have to stop after 9 issues unless we change this.
Damn, man, that's some good picks. But I want to go to the Golden Age Guru. My friend, what is your top 10?
So I love your guys' choices on books. There's some great ones in there, especially when you throw in that Dynamic 8. That's a great book. The whole melting face, candle. I mean, that's a great image. You rarely ever see that book. I love that book too. It's been hard to get a copy for a long time. And Terrific 5, I'm surprised didn't fall into your list with the Suspense 3. It's like along those same lines, it feels like. For me, the top 10, I'm not even outside of the obvious, right? We all know the obvious ones, outside of just value, just top 10 books. All American 16, I would love. That would be on my top.
Good
there.
luck.
Yeah, I know. I saw Restored one many years ago, and I was like, I don't want to do Restored. And I was like, I should have done Restored. And let's see. Other cool ones. All American Comics 61. I love that cover. The Solomon Grundy first appearance. He's on the cover, cool character. Let's see what else. Obviously, Cap 1, it is an obvious one, but it's such a cool book. How do you not love that cover? It's timeless. Every time you look at it, it's like having a Hulk 181, right? I mean, no matter times you look at it in a box, you're always just going to smile and be like, oh, yes, I love this book. Let's see what's another one for me. Suspense 3, too. I like Suspense 3. I think Fantastic Comics 3 is great. And I feel like there's this group of people who see Suspense 3 and Fantastic Comics 3, and they almost put them on the same tier, and they're just like, well, I like this one, so I don't have to like the other one. And I just like both.
Yeah.
And I do like Suspense 3 quite a bit more. I think Fantastic Comics 3 for me is just, I think because one person has so many copies, he's really forcing many other people to not get to enjoy the book, and it's driving up the market on that more than it needs to be. As cool as that cover is. No one, I think we know who that is, but what's another cool book? Tech 31, again, another classic that you gotta love and always enjoy.
Tech 31 Kid is also in the chat, fans live.
That
Tech
guy
31.
Timely's, man, I like Timely's. I'm just outside of Cap 1, obviously Marvel Comics 1 in any shape would be awesome. Well, I don't want to be obvious, but man, these obvious books are just too hard to not mention. Like, I'm trying to think what's greater than some of these collectible wise, and I'm trying to think what I have in my collection. Submariner Comics 11. I love that book. I think that book is a must-have. If you can get it, obtain it, you will always love owning it. I don't even know what number I'm on at this point.
Well, you know what? I tell you right now, fans, people are probably pausing the video to go check out some of these books you're ringing off. I bet they're doing them right now on eBay.
Oh, my top 10's already changed in my head a few times already since I talked. I mean,
yeah, Catman 20.
Yeah.
I would love a Catman 20 and like as bright white as possible. I don't know if that cover is as white as it should be. I almost feel like it's an off-white, but Catman 20, look up that book. I mean, that's one of my top 10 hopefuls to get at some point here in a nice shape, because it's definitely one I want to look as clean as possible.
Man, those are
I like Catman 28 is my favorite one, but obviously you guys all know the type of stuff I collect, so I'm going to gravitate towards Catman 28 more than the others.
those later covers were all great, though.
Yeah, they were. And Jeff, you mentioned Tech 31. I didn't put that on my list of Dark GA, but that's high on my list as well. But that's a superhero book. It's got Batman on the cover, but I want it because of the horror style to it. It's got, imagine there's no such thing as Batman. There was no Tech 27. There was no Batman. And just that cover came out. I think it would still be well sought after. It's huge.
The bad guy's a vampire.
So awesome.
That's right.
freaking awesome.
I mean, I didn't mention Suspense 3 on my list, but
There you go.
I've always told people that if you were to distill everything that was great about the Golden Age onto one cover, you'd come up with Suspense 3.
Seriously.
DS is showing.
There's a guy out there who's got a little company started up that he's doing like wooden recreation of comic book covers. I'm like, let me try that out. So I was like, can you do this one? And there's a lot of detail. And he's like, yeah. So ordered one and got it. And I don't know why I put it in the bag and board. Does that make sense?
It's beautiful, man. They can do that on laser printers
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I wanted to support them. It's a cool idea, and
So
you
cool.
know, this I have something to look at, and it's cool. I got it on Cedar, and
It's like he like stained it too or something.
yeah, I mean, it's cool though.
Two I forgot from my list. Planet Comics #1.
I knew it. I knew you love
And
your Planet Comics.
what is it? Is it National #5, the one with Uncle Sam underwater with the little kid with the machine gun with the big ship in the background?
7, isn't it? I don't know.
Is it 7?
The rarer one that's like underwater kind of green background. Big.
Yep.
It ain't 5, man. It's 7. But you know what? This guy is always in heaven. I'm talking Comic Books NYC is in the house. Man, I didn't forget my main man, Kavi. I just had to get this, rhyme across the pot. We were in deep golden age discussion here live on Top 10 Gold. But I want to talk to my good friend Michael, Knights of Old, man. Tell me about some of your top 10s.
So yeah, this can change, pretty fast. But right now, I'd say Tech 27, #1, then Action 1, then Cap 1, then Marvel 1, and then this guy.
Whoa!
Big battle, timely battle there, superhero battle. And
that
then
book there in Mylar?
yeah, hell yeah. And then I put a Sensation 1 on there, and then this one. It's not a Golden Age comic, but this would be number what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 on my list right here. It's a pulp, the first Tarzan.
Oh my god!
Yeah, all story.
That's right there.
Awesome cover.
That
And
we
then
consider that the top pulp in the pulp category too, right?
Yeah, probably. And the I'd put Suspense 3, then Flash 1, and then Wiz 1.
Oh, Wiz 1, the black and white, right? Oh my god! Now
No, the real Wiz 1 that
Wiz
you got.
2.
Oh, the one I got, yeah.
Wiz 2/1.
Yeah.
That ash can, I've always been a big fan. I tell you, man, I would love to get that damn thing. But Michael, what else, man? What's your plans to get some of these books? This is going to be awesome.
Oh, plans to get some of those books. Okay,
Well, first thing he's going to have to get out of the house.
The lotto ticket.
Well,
do you have that Wonder Woman's first?
I'm gonna get I'll be getting your Wiz soon, right? And then
Congrats, man. God. Welcome to the Wiz 2 Club. It's a lot funner to whiz in pairs than it is to be whizzing alone, if you know what I mean.
the All Story and Suspense 3 I'll find at some antique shop. And yeah. I'm not getting a Tech 27 or Action 1, that's for sure.
I bet all of my fellow panel members will agree. All it takes for my top 10 list to change is flipping through this.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I had to bring up my screen. Can you show that again, my friend? Let me get this thing going. Dude, that's what you need. All of those. Just that, every cover on that is awesome.
Yeah, there's one category I don't think we mentioned a lot of, and I don't think that any of them really cracked the top 10, but those Lev Gleason Silver Streak books, some of the early Daredevils, some of that early Lev Gleason stuff is super hard to find and super awesome, and those are on my list. I gravitate more towards the rare character stuff these days, and I pick up less from the PC than I used to, but the more sort of off the wall, rare, bizarre, cool stuff is what I like. And I mentioned in the chat too, some of the pre-Batman texts, those are super awesome books. And, early Lev Gleason stuff is cool. Silver Streak and a couple other ones I can't think that are Lev Gleason. Some of the early Daredevils, Daredevil 11 is an awesome book. I think that deserves more praise than it gets, but, yeah, so those are just some extra ones I was thinking as we were talking here.
Dude.
You gonna go, Legend?
Yeah, man. You know what? Let me show you this real quick. I got some books here.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be showing live. I don't bust these out all the time. We're going to do it tonight here live. And I'm going to talk about a little character, and I want to get y'all's point of view about this book right here. We got fans. We got the Police Comics one Represents
Nice.
a 5.5. I thought it was a 6.0, but it may have been the Mandela effect. So now it's a 5.5. But man, we're coming at you live here tonight with the first appearance of Plastic Man, first appearance of Human Bomb, first appearance
Very
of
nice.
Phantom Lady. Mouthpiece is in there. And our old man Firebrand getting a little action in there on the gazpacho. Man, you know how I roll. Police Comics.
Who's the cover on that? Is that Reek Randall?
You know what? Let me see who did the cover here.
Looks
That's
like
all
it might
I
be
know is
Randall.
Plastic Man and my Freedom Fighters are here. But let me see what the Jack Cole. Wait.
He did this
Yeah,
cover.
Jack Cole's story and art. This is Jack Cole right here. This is
That's Jack Cole?
I'm gonna give you some Jack Cole.
Hmm.
That dude right there getting hit by that monkey ass wrench. He getting Jack Cole. That's what that's called get Jack Cole when you get your ass hit with a monkey wrench in your
Jack
ear.
Cole cocked right there.
And then the Police Comics come through and save the day. But
That's
man, that's
amazing.
one book right there.
Amazing book, man.
Oh, and I love Plastic Man, and he's so cool. But really, I'm trying to get all those Freedom Fighters characters. Like I would love to get the Uncle Sam National Comics, and I just never see it. But I'm not looking real hard right now due to the virus and how money plays out currently. But this is one of my old favorites, tried and true. The Three Stooges Infinity cover, classic freaking cover. You got Norman Moore on there, and you got Joe Kubert. And this is a Norman Moore cover, but on the interiors you get the Joe Kubert. First appearance, Mo, Larry, Curly. Of course, you got the Infinity cover going there. Freaking awesome, 4.0. There's not very many of those on the CGC census. Although, man, hey, man, no offense, man. I love my CBCS. They're local. I take my books, there and everything, 30 minutes away, pick up, drop off. May have to do shipping now due to Corona, but CBCS, one of the best. But you ain't got no census, man. Get with the freaking program, CBCS. Get your shit together. But, man, there's not very many of these on the CGC. But then these two right here, soon, Midwest Comic Man is going to get these books in his possession. Probably just do a cleaning. I don't even think he should press them, but just to give a good cleaning. And then we're sending them in. CBCS. Three Stooges #2s, Golden Ages. Now, they're not in Mylar. I'm cheap. I don't buy the Golden Age Mylars because I do standard size a lot. But for these are in some of that 3mm polyethylene. Got a cloudy appearance, but it's real thick, and it makes your comic books look good, dude. Then I got this one right here. Now, you got some creases. There's some writing. Someone wrote Dove on there or something, or Helen or whoever the hell. Martha, maybe. I love Martha in comics. Bruce. And
Your mom is Martha too?
Bruce Clark and myself. My mom's name's Martha. Only the best. I'd kick Wonder Woman and we'd just be the dudes that all known as all of my mom's name is Martha. That's the new trifecta. Not no Wonder Woman. No, I'm just kidding. Gone too soon. I wish I had Sensational Comics #1. But there's there. And then there's this one has more like damage. Like you get some damage down here. Like the corners are kind of just that one there. It's cut right there. See? So, but dude, get Paul to clean them and send them to CBCS, and they could be coming back in some 4.0s or higher, is what I would hope. But sometimes, you can't rhyme, and those ain't good times. But yeah, for me, my top 10, I'm not going to give my top 10 tonight. I'm going to be waiting, and I'm going to do it another time that the legend will be hosting Golden Guys. You never know. Sometimes JD needs a little guest host, and I got the most rhymes for Paul's dimes. So, Paul, you be pressing these lean, mean, and clean, and we're going to be sending them to the CBCS grading machine. Here live tonight, fans. Let's check the chat a little bit more. And I was trying to get my old friend. I wanted to see what this guy. Yeah, all right. Trying to talk to a guy on the down low. If y'all don't know, I can't give his name away, but he's in the chat tonight, and he's jogging and listening to us live as he jogs and stays in shape because he's got to get those Golden Age greats. Ain't that right, Midwest? What you got for us?
Say what?
I got the.
Do we,
If
do
you
we, do
want
we
to
have the
share
spinner
my
rack?
screen.
Hey, hell yeah, is this you? Yeah, Michael, this is a great segue, man. Do you know how to operate this stuff?
Yeah, if you share my screen, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll hit the rest of the march up. There weren't too many left.
So
But,
can you explain to some of the people who might be new what we're doing here, like how?
You think there's new people watching? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So
man, I need to know
week
the download.
we try to show you what came out that week back in the day. So I'll usually start at 1938, and then we'll go all the way up through every year till 55, which is right around the Comics Code, which kind of put the kibosh on the Golden Age.
Dude, I knew you were going to say the word kibosh, and I was thinking that in my mind 5 seconds ahead before you said it. But man, that's a great rhyme.
And then sometimes we pretend that we're like giving you the old Bueller style preview of what new comics are going to be coming out tomorrow on Wednesday, and what you might want to grab a few extra copies of, just for fun. If you got your time machine ready,
I wish
So,
we
and
give
these
it
are all
around,
based.
dude. Make the time train.
These are all based on the street date versus the cover date. So these were all supposedly around the last week of March, and start here with in 38. Just what you were talking about, DS, old detective comic.
Some of the
Like,
best in comics around the
Comic
old
book.
Yep. Most of them were Flessel covers. Great stuff.
Yeah, it's
Don't
good.
see these around.
That's cool because you get to see that got action coming out in June of 38, so you can see the number difference with Action 1 to where Detective was. So that's always kind of interesting because some people might say Detective 1 and Action 1 came out at the same time, but they didn't. They had a year difference.
Detective was running before it by many 26 issues or something.
DC Comics.
Bunch.
And then move on to the next year, 39. We got this one, Adventure Comics. And then what is the deal? There's like a double Action Comics. I never.
Yeah, they reused that cover for double Action, which there's some question about whether that's considered an ash can or not because it was a color cover. But
double Action.
Yeah, from what I've read, it was only distributed to like 5 stores in the New York City area because they were testing it out.
Have you ever had a double Action, Jeff?
I've never had a double Action. No, I don't think I have.
I think there's only like 10 known that still exist.
Like double Action, man.
I don't even think I've seen this one.
Well, nothing more than what's more than one action. It's the double action. So
that's right.
Then the same month we got still another detective. A full year of them went by, and then there's still no Superman yet. Or no Batman. Sorry. Next issue though, I wonder if this one has an ad in there on the back.
Oh my God! You gave us a sneak peek. I just saw Superman on the screen.
Look at that. Is 1940, so it's kind of like like your super neighbor who might run through your fence for some reason or something. Not really a superpower kind of thing. Then we got
looking like Kool-Aid Man there.
Another cover that wouldn't make it today, I don't think.
Oh man, it's not too soon, yeah.
This was pretty cool. The crazy, I believe this is Schomburg, early Schomburg, yeah.
Is that some Dan?
So you're the timely guy, Knights.
That looks like some Garrett.
Mystics are pretty tough to find in general, aren't they?
Yeah, yes, absolutely, especially the first series.
I would love to get Dan Garrett Blue Beetle first appearance, man.
I remember it because one of the Witness issues is one of the Mystics, right?
I'll get that book one day, but not today.
Got another great one. This is a Joe Simon cover. Science number 4.
Little Fox.
Ooh, only the Shadow knows. There we go. If Biggie Shack was watching, he'd know the Shadow.
There's been better Shadow ones, but this one isn't too bad.
They pulled that off a cover of one of their old pulps, which they did on a lot of these Shadow comics.
Yeah.
And that's a very classic Shadow cover.
Yeah.
But there's far better ones, but that one's just...
That's one of the classics.
Yeah, it's iconic, but maybe not of the best quality or something, but...
Is the ring part of his power or something, or does he keep his, like, Oriental
there was some
opium in
significance to
there?
the ring, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
You know, Barnabas Collins, man, he had one of those shadow rings. It's onyx colored. 1966.
Oh, that's classic as it gets right there.
Classic, man.
Yeah, nice.
Jonathan Frid, Barnabas Collins, gone too soon.
I think this is Simon as well.
That is
And
man book.
Oh,
by
look at that.
Underworld.
we got one for DS, robot. Robot.
Yeah, I would probably pass on this, though, because there's nothing dark about it. I like robots and dark themes, and this is just robots.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Dark GA all the
Yeah,
way.
if there was blood dripping from their mouth or something, DS would be all over it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. If there was blood on this cover, I would be all about it. But I mean, Superman, you're gonna write hook to robot.
This is like for current fans, East of West, The Sixth Gun. You know, that kind of weird Western dark sci-fi. You know, just dark golden age, man. That's DS Comics. Created it here for the golden guys.
Yeah, man, this is like the lazy robot you see. You know what I mean? Like there's robots if you saw walking down the street, you'd be like, "Oh, I gotta run," and it'd be like the ones you're gonna go check out and be like, "No, I don't know about this guy."
These are the ones that they got the wind up. They got the wind up on the backs. You know.
Yeah. Or it'd be like, we need the you said you were gonna make a robot costume for your daughter, dude. We have an hour. Come on, hurry up, make that costume.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all like tin foil and
yeah,
styrofoam and toilet paper rolls.
I do like the lights though, kind of cool on there. I feel like
I do like the old style of anything metallic or machinery. It's all riveted. I love the old gadgety sci-fi stuff from the 40s because nobody would ever build a machine that looks anything like the stuff that they had in the comics in the 40s, and those things are always riveted, rock solid steel. They're usually well labeled what all the devices are, all the poison gas, and all that stuff's all well labeled, and it's just really cool stuff to see.
So first, Superman ruins your fence, and you're just hanging out, and then he ruins your kids' costumes.
Savage.
Then we got this is pretty cool. It's got the Axis guys, and they're cutting out their piece of the world pie that they want.
Well, there you got some left Gleason right there, man. Right?
Yeah, that's another title I forgot about when I was.
I think 42.
Let me show a quick Lev Gleason. I was going to show you that you're talking about just cool Lev Gleason covers. This is one of the better boy comics covers, and it's just something like.
Yeah, flip.
Oh, 9-0 on that.
Whoa!
This is like. I mean, it's not super key. It's just key because it's a classic cover, and it's just one of those.
Yeah, that's
the
cool.
second you see that image, you're like, okay, that's a BA book.
And that kind of fits into the dark GA theme.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's definitely on. There's a couple boy comics that you just never see. That's one of them that are really dark, and they almost all have iron jaws on them.
Is that a Pieta cover?
I believe it is.
The one I had, or the one?
Yeah.
No, it's a Bureau story cover and art.
Well, no, the JD talks about the pose, the classic holding, the Dame pose.
Yeah, like Da Vinci's Pieta.
All right, yeah, I was like, what?
I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Like, is that a new artist I don't know of?
Is that a really, really real old artist? I don't know. I forget. Yes.
Joe Pieta.
Is that the highest graded copy? I can't imagine there's anything higher out there than that.
I'll have to double check. It might be highest, tied for highest, or second highest. It was a 7.5. It was a beautiful 7.5 or 7.0 I got from Alan Bart. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk about where I got from him.
Man. You're making those deals.
Is there a mile high copy of that?
Probably. I wouldn't doubt there isn't.
Yeah.
Got the VIP deals. Hell yeah.
And now we've got a cover that definitely wouldn't make it today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've been watching that man on a high castle. Man,
Yeah,
it's a good
you-
show.
I'm not sure what the blueprint is. Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, what's he doing?
What is he cutting?
He's cutting
He's
towards
cutting the cosmic cube.
And I would like to point out they get extra points for extra
He's
place
cutting
slap
a
to jab.
square.
Yeah. Osha would be pissed. He's cutting towards his face right now. That's ridiculous. Man.
There's some kind of a blueprint that he's destroying. Maybe
Yeah.
some kind of proof that
This is
he's gonna drop on him. And he's pissed off at it.
this is right after. Well, I mean, Pearl Harbor happened 3 months before this, but it takes them a while to make the comic. So February, March, you started to see your first response from American comics from Pearl Harbor.
It was the golden
there's
age, man. They spit out comics in 24 hours back then.
Then we got the this guy fighting the Japanese in like Ant-Man style,
Good old-
American safety
Oh
method.
yeah, Doll Man. That's Doll Man. Yeah,
Nobody ever brings up Dollman, but he had
he
Odd issues.
runs with Phantom Lady from time to time.
And Torchy's huge in a lot of his titles. And it's got really good artwork in Feature Comics and Dollman. I mean, the interiors are usually pretty good.
Dude, I need to start.
And the
getting
early
a Doll
appearance of Lollapalooza.
Man. Yeah, I do need to get a
Right.
Doll Man.
You need to get
Doll
Doll.
Man. Nah, man, I need the comic man. Green Lantern.
This is
Okay.
one of the only Green Lantern versus Axis forces.
Nice black cover on that.
We get another one here.
Mhm.
U.S. production. There's Hitler cover.
who did Jackpot?
MLG.
MLJ.
Yeah, MLJ. Jackpot mostly has like 4 covers.
Yeah,
They're not too crazy horrific, but they're pretty rock solid. And
I think-
most of the MLJs, they have sort of like broad color strikes, very blocky sort of colors and very deep, rich color strikes on all the MLJs, and this is no exception.
I think number 4 had the first appearance of Archie tied with Pep 22 somewhere around there.
Yeah, the cover appearance.
Yeah.
It's got Archie in the little square on where they have the stuff on the side where they show the little floating head sort of thing. They have one with Archie. Yeah, I think it's 4. I saw one recently for somebody had one for sale.
This one might win for most swastikas on one cover.
That's right.
This is
I don't know.
1943
Green Llama
now.
had some ones with a lot of swastikas too.
True. Dude.
I never see that one for sale either.
This is a good cover.
Pretty good Daredevil one.
Yeah.
The hanging kids going over there. Pretty cool Hangman cover.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Again, MLJ. You see how the color. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's very blocky and rich color strikes on these MLJs.
Yeah, this has got a feel to that National Comics 16, is it? With Uncle Sam
Yeah,
strangling.
16.
Which one do you
Yeah.
think you like? Which of you guys like better, this one or that one? It's a tough one, right? You got different color scheme in the other one, the blue and the white.
I
so-
love this one here because he's just freaking slamming that skeleton's face into
right.
the floor and stuff.
What is the other one?
The other one is National Comics 16. It's got Uncle Sam grabbing. It's like a giant Uncle Sam grabbing a giant like Nazi skeleton wearing like a Nazi war helmet, grabbing him by the throat, and
Oh yeah.
massive giants. And I think the skeleton's holding a battleship up, which is in his hand, which is still shooting at him. It's happening like in the harbor. And
Yeah.
I think I like National 16 better. You know, I passed
Got a more epic feel.
last
Yeah.
year at the con. It was a 4.0 with white pages, and I almost bought it. And when I went back, somebody else in the community had bought it and showed it, and I was like, man, I almost bought that book. Yeah.
Pages too, man. Oh,
For
4.0
comparison,
Yeah, I mean, that book's tough anyway, but a 4.0 white page, good-looking copy.
there's
Oh!
16.
That one there.
Yeah,
That's what I want right there.
Cutting up
National
the reverse
Comics
there.
DS. First Uncle Sam. Now I know he's not dark, more war style, but damn, wouldn't that
yeah, and
be
it's one of those, like, the armor on that skeleton is like Kaiser Wilhelm era, like spiked helmet on that.
Yeah, it's definitely a World War One style.
Yeah, it's like World War One style garb on that. But yeah, I think I like National 16 better. They're both awesome though.
oh, this book's great. I would love this book someday.
I've never even
Red
seen that
Dragon.
one before.
saw an 8
Yeah,
just the other day that was not for sale.
That's a pure horror cover when it comes down to it. That's a melt cover.
I'll tell you, if I found one of these, I'd be all over it, man. But when it comes out like publicly, it's tough to compete for that because a lot of people want this, and it doesn't get cheap.
Yeah, I don't see that often ever.
So hard to
This
find
is
some
a
of these
funny
gold
penguin
names.
cover.
Oh yeah, look at that one. Love those penguins in the background.
Oh yeah, DS. Here you go.
DS, what do you think about that one?
Honestly, it doesn't do much for me, for real. I don't know if it's the colors or what, but I don't know. It kind of, this is just personally for me, it looks cheap. You know what I mean? It's not, it looks cheap. I like the idea of the execution or the cheapness of the printing. It's just, I don't know. I've tried to get into some of these more gruesome shadow covers, but I just can't. But some of the lesser ones are much better for me. This one is, I don't know.
A couple of years ago, this was a very popular cover and one of the more classic ones. A few more have come out lately. I don't think they sell for as high as they used to, but it's definitely
They sell fast.
Yeah, I think this one is one of the highest selling values of the Shadow comics. But there's other ones I think are better, which are undervalued. I think, Jeff, I sent you one. I thought that was better than this one. Honestly, the one I sent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of books. A lot of the books we show in these segments, actually, it seems like if they're priced like fair, and not trying to like get an extra $500 or whatever, they just move quick. Like none of these books I think we show, if they're priced low to price, they'll be gone quick.
Yeah, that's true. I see this Shadow one come up from time to time, and I've seen several in the last year that were really low grade, 1015 copies, and people are putting like $1,000 price tags on them for not moving. It's not at that level. But I'll tell you, if you find a Shadow book or basically a Street Smith that's like fine plus or better, this is a gem. Most of those are tough to find and find them in good shape and stuff. So you find like 65, 70 Shadow books.
And Jambo Comics is in the chat. He says it was cheap, DS, 10 cents. Those are the days, man. If only, well, you never know. Comics may, get a little bit cheaper. But
Well, Street and Smith seem to have a cheap production quality for cover color. I don't think they spend a lot on ink or machinery that prints the covers. Street and Smith stuff, a lot of it's offset printing and miscut. I don't think they put a lot of money into their codes.
I was collecting non-Schomburg books, non-timely ones. Sorry, non-timely Schomburgs for a while, because you could get a lot more of them you could get like 2 of those for one timely, and this was one of those that I just kind of helped me not do that anymore, because after like 3 years I couldn't find a single copy.
Yeah, Schomburg's, man, classic
really
Schomburg's. Hey, Golden Age Guru, what do you think about this cover here? Wonder Comics.
Number 1.
Yeah, this is a tough book. I don't see this book that often come up, and obviously being a war cover on top of that, I love the 2 flags that he's.
Yeah, the flags.
Total Man on the High Castle. I'm watching it on Amazon Prime right now, and on episode 5, one of the best shows you can see live if you have Amazon Prime. Sorry about that.
Which show is it?
It's called Man on the High Castle or something like that.
Okay.
It's where it's a parallel or an alternate reality where Nazi
The Axis
Germany,
wins.
Yeah, the Axis, the bad guys win, and then the east side of the United States of America is the Nazi side, and then the west side is the Japan side, man, and it's just crazy.
Also
It's
check that out.
a good show, and there's the middle zone too. Super Magician. Is this DS? Is this would this fall under? Is this Dark GA? What do y'all think?
Well,
Freaky.
But again, I think this is a Street and Smith publication, and it's just, I don't know, it's got a cheap quality to me personally. Very few Super Magician issues appeal to me.
The villain, I don't know if the I don't know if the villain's the guy with the cape or the villain has the 2 pistols, but someone needs to call the guy with 2 pistols Taylor because he looks like a bad sailor. You know what I'm saying? Just so stupid looking. The disrespect. I mean, if Popeye the Sailor Man was standing next to that guy with his get up, Popeye the Sailor Man would have already swallowed the spinach and beat this ass to the finish. You know, that's what I'm saying here live tonight. Top 10 gold.
I do like the painterly quality though of the like green water, and you know it's well done as considering.
I like the girl in the mermaid in the water. That's cool.
Elements of the cover are good, but as a whole, it's kind of odd.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I've ever even seen this before. So
no, Popeye's coming for the super.
I think it is probably Street Smith volume.
Now here's a guy.
Here's another underwater cover that's pretty classic.
Oh, jeez, another Frogman cover I need.
Dude, you do love your merman. Just call He-Man. He's seen him a lot of times.
Does this sell, Jeff?
I mean, any action comic with the big title on top is kind of more in demand than most. Is it a coveted? Is it an in-demand one? No. But it's below 100. It's not the worst. It's a little playful for me, you know. I mean, basically, the diver, hey, Superman, you got to move.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the kind of Frogman cover I usually go for. I want to see somebody getting stabbed in the neck, and
yeah, is that a checkers board? Not even chessboard. Like, play chess. He has to play checkers.
They're playing checkers. The Aquaman do checkers, man. They ain't against the chess.
I had a beautiful copy of this book. Beautiful. Kept in my personal. Finally went to get it graded. It was in my collection for years. And apparently it was before it counted pages. Because when I got it back, it came back green. Because it missed
dang.
I still have it as a reminder.
Qualified grade, man. Hey, but sometimes you got to go green when the green is good, you know.
It's true.
But if you would suddenly pay full price, though, and not knowing, then that's
there's a green instrument of death.
Ooh, torture wheel.
Yeah, there's a lot of Golden Age torture wheel covers out there. I don't know anybody specifically who collects those, but they're all.
Oh, there's got to be someone.
That would fall in the dark GAH DS, man, because if you want to roll someone on their face, and you can roll them on their chest.
I mean, if there's a guy out there who collects elephants, there's a guy who's.
Dark Mysteries 19 is probably my favorite torture wheel cover, just because of the pre-code horror tie into it.
Ooh, bondage cover.
That's what year are we in? Because we're starting to get into the girls.
We're in 46, so the girl thing is just starting. Yeah, the
ladies up on the screens.
Don't want to read about Cap anymore.
This
There we go.
Blonde Phantom, great stuff. We're at the point where the girls are coming into it, and they're still good girls, and then eventually we'll get to the bad girls.
Yep. There's 47, I think. Sid Shores, I think.
What you gonna do when Blonde Phantom comes for you, Midwest?
I think Blonde Phantom is a pretty cool torture wheel cover too.
Yeah.
Don't tell Midwest Ball and Chain.
And we got so that was 47.
Blonde Phantom's coming to his house tonight.
We're jumping to 49 here. The Thing in the Vault. I don't know anything about this one, but it was kind of horror-ish, so I'd let you take it. Yeah.
I mean, Jeff probably knows more about this than the rest of us. I don't ever.
When did they start putting that Marvel comic symbol on there?
I'm not sure, but I think the first Mysteries was 32, right? And that was considered maybe Marvel's first horror cover. I think it was number 32, right, with the big mouth.
I think it was around them when they started doing that.
Oh, is that the mouth at the top of the mountain?
I think so. Wasn't that 32 or something right before this? But yeah, it's interesting to have the Marvel Comics logo there now, and I don't know when that started. But I've had this book.
And it's very similar to
I know the Captain America's Weird Tales had them.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
the devil,
there's the Cap.
The Outcast.
That was the last one before it became Weird Tales, right?
Is that the quicksand? What's going on?
I don't know.
But you could see they were already going that direction.
Yeah, he's in water is what it is. That is weird. Okay, he's in water and they're standing on wooden gimmicks, so they're above the water.
Yeah, that is the last one, because 74 is the one with the red skull.
I'll bet that one's pretty rare though, because they probably didn't, the print run on this has got to be much lower than a lot of the other stuff, and I wouldn't, maybe it wouldn't stand out to me, but I don't think I ever see this around.
It's tough
I
to
think
find.
pretty much
Lab,
all the
go
ones
away.
above 65 or so are pretty tough to find.
Hard to find without spine creases on this one. Cool Planet.
Oh yeah.
Love that rocket ship. It's so like old school style, like old school Buck Rogers or something.
See, and
Jetpacks, all that.
like that one right there, like that one in particular, I could see where Dave Stevens got his inspiration from.
Mhm.
I mean, because that looks like something he would do.
You know, Paul, you mentioned you like Planet Comics 1 in your top 10. Is it because you like number 1, the cover, or just because you like Planet Comics? Because I don't find that
Planet Comics in general, I mean, I thought it was one of the first times that you really had continuing stories for a lot of the titles. You know, and I love Fiction House in general. I mean, like, I'm still one of these days want to put together a full run of Ghost comics. But I think if you're into Planet or into Fiction House, you got to think about Planet number 1.
And you know, Paul, you did that thing on your channel where actually I think it was on the Comic Board channel, it may be, that you took us through.
No, that was my
those
channel.
books. That was your channel. You took us through those books one by page.
Yeah, I think I've done the first 5 issues of Planet Comics so far. I've gone page by page, done every story.
That's good, man.
Here's an Everett Submariner comic. Cartoon. I thought
Oh,
this was
that
a pretty
Western
cool
looks cool.
classic.
Dude, that's a DC one as well.
Yeah.
And I want to get All-Star Western Golden Ages one of these days after I work on some other little collectings. Got to finish my Dark Shadows run. I love this Gold Keys, Dells. Ain't no
Wayne.
wing, so
Nice blue shoes. 49. Now we're in 1950. We got I believe a Baker. It looks like a Baker to me.
Yeah, that's probably a Baker. He did most of
With
the
two
Teenage
phones.
Romance covers, I think.
I don't think I've seen that one out and about much. I've seen
That's
a
a cool
lot of Bakers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one out much.
Lars of Mars.
Yeah, I like that one. That's the Ziff Davis, I'm sure, but there's a couple Ziff Davis like steampunky robot sort of ones I like. That one's cool.
Murderous Gangster.
And we're getting into the bad girls.
Mm-hmm.
it's like some good
1950.
Our once a show.
Dude, I don't know, man. That Mystic cover, that Jaws of Death was breathing really heavy into my microphone, man. I had to check it. Headphones, man. Woo.
And he's tied there. I don't know what's happening. Another Baker.
Yeah, it's definitely
One that he actually signed.
All romances. That dude got 2 girls.
I like this one. Thank goodness he's dead at last. He can't harm anyone anymore. Want to bet?
Yeah, very subtle electric chair cover.
that was one of the ones I did in my artist spotlight.
It's Manili. Is that a Manili cover?
Yeah, I think that one is in the Manili one. Gone too soon, as legend would say.
You know, he's poor guy. He's feeling it tonight.
Look at this skeleton. He's got the force power on that
Force
guy.
push.
Yep.
And that's how Anakin did Mace Windu. Gone too soon.
I don't know what the hell is going on with this, so I just had to put it in there as like one of the kind of dumbest looking ones.
Big Town's always had a special place in my heart because I love old time radio too. So this was based on an old time radio show.
Why are they both up there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It looks like he's helping her out rescuing
Drew in
a
the
cat in
house.
the tree, but maybe that's not her cat.
Drew was in the big town, man. That's Drew fighting off a black tiger or something. Oh, Kit.
The show is a cover you wouldn't see today. You know, my kid is afraid of just the most silly little things. So I couldn't imagine, like, geez, like if your kid brought home like a comic about kidnapping.
I remember a comic book market
Babies for sale.
right up on this particular issue. I don't remember what it said in it, but I remember reading it.
That's shortly after this. Of course, you had your cannabis comics, and some of those reefer ones.
And then there's that other comic that I would absolutely love to have in my collection: Teenage Dope Slaves.
Oh yeah.
I know where it goes.
Yeah, you knew what I was gonna say.
Sometimes this is probably any comic obsessed collector, the man who couldn't sleep.
That was 8 2 nights ago.
Now on eBay every
oh, God,
minute.
me too.
Hey, stuff like this here, Reefer Madness, man. This is assembled a lot of Golden Age comics. Craig Yo, the old IDW guy. Yo Books is what he does, but man, it's just Golden Age, man. Golden Age crime, oh so fine, and they trying to look for the Seawood 19. Seawood 19, give it up to him. Newsstand. He's over there on our sister channel, Modern Men. But here, we're Golden Guys. Ain't that right? Golden Guys, man.
That's right. Hoorah.
That's pretty tame for a Nightmare cover.
Yeah, well, Nightmare started at a different publisher, and then they took over and sort of finished the run, I think, is what happened. I'm not sure.
This is what she did before she was married to Herman Munster.
That one looks like a Ziff Davis type.
Yeah, it does, and the earlier ones don't look like that, or maybe they're the later ones, I'm not sure. But Nightmare 13, that was a hot book for a minute, that Matt Baker Underwater Green Mermaid sort of cover.
This is Nightmare #1.
Yeah, so maybe this predates when they became more of the horror stuff.
The pure
Sneak
horror.
peek. You're freaking me out with these sneak peeks real quick.
Oh,
It's like, was her head off? Show it. Show
come
it.
in, dear.
Oh my God, the head was
I've
off.
been expecting you.
Spellbound's pretty cool Atlas title, though. It's decent.
Spellbound.
Not one of the better covers, but
Yeah, see, like they were Marvel Comics, and now they're back to Atlas again. This one reminds me of that Shadow pulp cover with the green skeleton.
again has that Ziff Davis feel.
Yeah, they had a couple painted covers that were pretty awesome. I think it was a short one, right? It's only like 2-3 issues.
Yeah.
This one's a good classic right here. Knights of Old. Do you have this one in your collection?
I don't, but it's pretty cool because if you didn't know,
The historical significance
Lie
here.
detector.
Do it as a
William
trivia
Martin,
question.
he invented the lie detector. The inventor of Wonder Woman invented the lie detector. So I guess this was homage to him because he had been dead 5 years already at this point. So yeah, he died in 1947. He was only 53. So I don't know. He was laughing in heaven, I guess.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
This reminds me of some Twilight Zone scary thing I saw as a kid with some like doll attacking people or something. But this guy gets like turned into a doll, I guess.
That's
The Deadly Dolls. That freaked me out. God, I remember Friday the 13th, the series. The first episode was about a little China doll that killed people. So
Oh.
I feel you. House of Mystery, probably a scary story.
#1, they needed another jungle person here.
JD loves the jungle ladies, but not as much as he loves the jungle elephants. They got really big trunks.
Oh, yeah,
Here's a classic one we all love.
Yep.
That one's pretty good. I don't know if maybe Jeff has to comment on the value of this. This was another book that skyrocketed, and I don't know if it's maintained that or if it's sort of fallen off, but I know there for a minute, like last year, book was red hot.
Yeah, I sold a couple copies of this book last year, so value-wise, yeah, I haven't seen one. I felt like I saw quite a few last year come to market. I don't feel like I've seen one in this year at all. Not to say that there hasn't been one, but I would think it was really strong. 1,000 a point. You know, see the low end is going to be a little bit more 2.0. You're going to probably pay 1,200. You know, to get into a nice 2.0, but you know, maybe a little more, maybe 1,400. But I think once you get to 3-4, you might be looking at 1,000 a point. You know.
Yeah, I think it seemed like last year there were quite a few like 4.0s and 5.0s of this out there. Several of them, I don't know, and they were pricing high. I think it's a Jack Cole cover.
It is.
Yeah, it's awesome. I never felt like, for me, for my collecting, that this was, for me, worth that money. This book, if it was a 5.0, I would be down for like $1,000 on it. So that's why I don't own it. You know, nobody's selling me a mid-grade for $1,000.
I sold my 5.0 last year for 5,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, at 1,000 point, you're saying, okay.
No, I'm saying 1,000 overall for mid-grade. I would pay, but nobody's selling me a mid-grade for 1,000 overall. But yeah, 1,000 a point on the mid-grade is reasonable cost, at least for recent sales.
Weird horrors.
What company is this one?
I think it's a St. John.
Yeah. I think so.
St. John Publications. It's like those Stooges books, classics.
It's not bad. St. John is good if you dig deep into St. John, especially some of the off titles like the Westerns and There's a lot of Matt Baker stuff, and some of the only Matt Baker signatures are on St. John Westerns. Because he usually didn't sign his art, so you can dig deep if you see some St. John stuff in a box. You can find some Matt Baker stuff that people don't know about.
Weird Science. I remember the first Weird Science. What was it? I think it was number 12 or number 13 or something. But the previous series was like a romance series. But this Weird Science, that's good stories.
This one goes out to Bub's Comics because I thought he would like this one.
Nice looking cover there. Bub's Comics, one of the best voices you'll ever see in the auction community. So if you want to sell books and you want a guy with the voice and the looks, you'll go to Bub's Comics. Get the guy booked for one of your live auctions today. He's only a subscription away.
Only $9.95.
One of the True Vision 3Ds.
Yeah, true. This has got a great robot cover with DS. You know what I'm talking about? Do you like that one? That one's got
at the end of this title, they did this 3D True Vision where there's no glasses, but the perspectives sort of jump out, and they're printed on black pages. So it's really cool stuff. And most of them have black covers. And yeah, I really want a nice, I want a nice copy of the one that's a robot pulling the train off the tracks. And it's a black cover like this. And these are so tough to find in good shape. They're just always beat. And they get with the black cover like that to find a nice copy is tough. But yeah, they're cool. I have the only white cover one of this in a 7.0 for sale, but nobody wants it, so I don't get it. Whatever, but yeah, that robot one is cool. I do like it.
Yeah, these books don't get enough love for what they are, especially when you get to flip through them on the interiors. You'll really appreciate what it is.
Yeah, I posted some pictures on my Instagram of the one before I slabbed it, with showing the interior panels where it's black backgrounds, and then the panels have like a lot of perspectives of stuff jumping out at you. They're really cool.
I don't think ACG gets enough love in general. I mean, especially when you consider how much stuff they were putting out, and essentially all of it was written by one guy. Just everything.
Yeah, I think Ken Ball did almost all the ACG covers for everything up until these True Vision, and I think most of these are Harry Lazarus stuff, interior and the covers for those True Visions.
I thought this was a cool Black Rider cover.
Yeah.
And pretty cool. This one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. That's probably Harry Anderson. Yeah, but he draws a zombie like him, but
really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I don't see too many wood covers, so I
cover.
do this one.
It's a good book.
Cool colors. I don't know much about this one.
God, so creepy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then there's this at the same time, you know.
Yeah, we're digging all into these deep horror stuff, and then we pull out a DC.
This is the Batmobile of 1912. What is this? I don't know.
It's like the Monsters coach, like you mentioned earlier.
And what's the deal with their capes? It's like got a crazy air conditioner or something in there.
That's like a bootlegger version of the Batmobile there.
Yeah. Pretty cool war cover. Still going on with the war with the comic code.
TS won't look at that. It's got
Yeah,
a
look.
Canteen Kate. I don't think that story must have been pretty bland with the comic code.
Wait, is
Scowl's
that
Laugh.
a St. John book though?
Yeah, that's a Baker Canteen Kate up there, and I don't.
Scowl's Laugh, thanks for showing up here tonight, here live on the Golden Guys. Top 10 Gold. She says she's bummed that the Comic-Con isn't happening this year. A lot of Comic-Cons are canceling. And just like the fighting Marines, we're going to fight this virus all the way through.
I think that's a Matt Baker cover.
Bringing Golden Age just to you.
He did a
And
lot.
you got to love Matt Baker. Paul loves some Matt Baker.
I've never seen this, so I threw it up here. It's Tom Corbett.
Michael, do you think the
I've seen
most
some
little
of those
short
top parts,
aliens
but
are
I
going to
don't-
defeat
that
the
cover
space
doesn't
cadet,
look
or
right.
will he win?
No,
I mean,
it
there's a
doesn't.
lot of them little boogers
There's
around.
another one when they're in a spaceship that's really cool. I can't remember what number.
Yeah, they've got some really slick cover.
That's pretty awesome.
And then I threw in some. I just threw in some broad searches to see if there was any
Even some weird.
virus
This would never
covers or
fly.
anything.
This cover would never fly today either because he's being attacked by midgets and hurling one of them across.
Sounded like Kirby to you for some at all. I don't know why I wanted.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Here's some.
Ooh, what is this?
The time. Just I grabbed some like virus and like whatever stuff that
So
maybe there was some kind of.
I don't know, but that cover's pretty damn sinister.
You shrink them down to micro size and trap them in jars. And this guy, he gives me that Boris Karloff feel, doesn't he? Just the evil villain guy. Just
The
messing
dead
people up.
walk.
He's messing them up to that, man. He's making them micro size. Ooh, here's another. That looks like Lugosi. That's a Lugosi. Widow's Peak in the front.
That's right. Hypodermic needle cover.
And then this was interesting. This was from the flu of the Spanish flu. They call, they reference that what they're going through now. These are some of the crazy ads that you saw back then. You could use this soap and then you're fine, or there's some like crazy water ads and stuff.
Yeah, those tonics
You
back in the day.
For influenza.
Those tonics back in the day, whatever they would cure, I don't know if it worked, but they definitely get you wasted.
The lunatic plague.
I like
Good
how
one.
that gal had that Tommy gun. That was pretty awesome. Just chilling in the window.
This was some kind of flu thing. Was this the same guy who drew Marvel Comics 1 cover, I think? Paul?
Frank Paul.
Yeah. Why catch their influenza? Don't worry. If you just suck on these delicious tablets, whenever you're in danger, you're fine.
They'll heal you. It's kind of like the golden age version of Facebook ads.
Suck at least 4 or 5 a day.
Hey, this is a family show.
I bet that doesn't taste very good, whatever the hell that was. Paul, stop spitting, everyone.
Oh, it's old school.
Gotta do your part.
Yeah. Spitting that tobacco out.
You ever see that guy on YouTube who he gets these old MREs like army stuff from like
I've
the
seen those
40s
videos.
and he'll eat it.
Yeah.
But I'd love for him to get like stuff like this somehow. Find these like weird ass medicine, things. That would be crazy. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Oh, that's it for me.
See, now you made me do it. I pulled out my Platinum Age book, and on the back, there's a big old ad.
Infinity Stream.
That's right.
For Beecham's Pills.
Egypt's
Nice.
What did they do? Do they cure cancers or?
It says, none
Every-
can have a well-balanced constitution without taking Beecham's Pills.
I like the marketing. They put Beecham's pills like 8 times.
Bathroom pill. I don't know.
The
Stay
functions of
regular.
the kidneys are vastly improved, and the bowels are made to act with quiet regularity.
Oh, good
Whoa.
fiber pills. Those will do good. They're like Taco Bell on a good day. Those are some
Well, that's
awesome
it for me,
ones.
guys.
These are awesome, man.
Well, man, you know what? We've had a pretty dang good long show tonight. And so
I have a question for the panel before we finish.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's hold off on the question, but let's go to DS. DS, what do you got going on this week in your comic book pop culture life, brother?
Well, not a whole lot. I got a couple books coming this week. Other than that, I'm just, trying like everybody else to try to stay safe. I'm not super worried about what's going on for me personally, and I'm still out there buying and selling comics. So I'm just going to try to find some deals and sort of just hang tight, and hopefully everybody gets through this safely and it doesn't last too long. Other than that, I'm just sort of chilling, and I'm still doing comics. And I know the new comics, Diamond shut down, so there's not a lot of new stuff out there. But I don't buy that stuff anyway, so hopefully some other people will experience some other comics maybe that they wouldn't have normally since their new stuff's not out. There's a lot of great stuff out there that's not new, that's affordable and awesome. And yeah, everybody can check that stuff out.
That's awesome, man. Well, we love that stuff, and some of these new books, people that y'all buy, you're gonna have to go and get some back issues, support your local comic shops, get some trades, hardcovers, get some just kick-ass story arcs you may have not known about before. Go buy them from your local comic book store. Golden Age Guru Jeff G, man, what you got for us, man? What's going on your channel, or what have you been doing for your comics and stuff this week?
Oh, man, for this week, God, it's been a lot of books out there for opportunity. Just trying to hang tight, make sure I get the right value of a book for the dollar right now. That's kind of what I'm doing. For me, like any year that I'm looking for comics, I try not to put on a book that I'm looking for. I always just, like, I'm out there and see so many books that if I fall into, I know I will fall into a book eventually. So I try not to feel disappointed by the end of the year of like trying to pick a book. So I'm always just out there looking for books, and whatever happens, happens. So I'm just trying to wait for the opportunity to come to me. And most of the time you can find me on Comic Time 101. I'm thinking about starting my own channel here at some point too, just every once in a while, especially now that I'm hunkered in the bunker.
Yeah.
Here, it's like so much time in a day. I feel like I got to communicate and talk to somebody. And I live further out in the like a woodsy area, so I've been away from people most of the time anyway. So it's like I've been locking myself up away before COVID made it cool, and just trying to keep my ear open. Like I said, a lot of people out there looking to sell books. A lot of people looking out there to buy books. So be patient. If you got a budget, especially, find that right book you're going to be happy with, and that's what I do. And you never know what's around the corner the next day, so always just be ready to go.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. People are all doing things different ways, but the fact stays, this is the golden age. And we got one of the best, one of my favorites. I've known him for a long time, Knights of Old. What do you got going on? Are you on the hunt this week?
Well, I am kind of looking around just to see if there's any deal.
Reading one of my favorites in your hands.
Yeah,
show it, man. The first.
I've been organizing, just looking at. Now's a great time to just kind of sit back and look at all the comics that you're gonna have to be satisfied with if this goes on for the next 10 years, And this is a great one right here.
Fantastic Four annual one, freaking Submariner. You gotta love it.
I saw it has this really cool Hulk pinup.
See, this is where we're different than a lot of collectors. Since we live on Golden and Silver Age, we'll open up and read them. A lot of collectors get a Golden and Silver Age, they don't even want to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
I know this original art was owned by Glenn Danzig.
Wow! Oh my God!
Yeah. But I saw that. I'm pretty sure I saw that it was coming to a heritage auction. So maybe he's clearing it out. I know that
he ain't getting any younger, man.
Yeah. Getting ready to go to retirement home.
Although they did do last year, they did a bunch of Misfits reunion shows. I'm sure he made some bank off that.
Anyway, yeah. Maybe I'll make a couple videos. I'm not sure.
And you can always get the Danzig logo on the comic book, which was in that Chris R number whatever, where they used the Danzig logo in the background of that Copper Age book. That's always cool.
But see, that Danzig logo is actually the Crimson Ghost logo.
Hey, Michael, you know what? I got a question, man. In the comic book community currently, there's a tag video going on showing your top 50 comics. Maybe you can do a top 50 video, show some of those classics, man. Show some
that's a
Golden Age
possibility.
on your channel. And man,
50 is a lot, but
that's
yeah.
awesome, dude. I think we all need to do that. I want to see. I don't have much Golden Age, but they'll be in the top 50.
Well, I'll tell you,
You don't have much Golden Age, but it started with Wiz #1.
Yeah,
I have 50 books in my
I would definitely. Yeah, I would have to, man. That's my Action Comics one. How about you, DS?
I mean, my top 50 would be my top 80% of my entire PC. So I don't really feel like the point doing my top 50.
I just want to see it.
You try to keep it at about 75 books in your PC, right?
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep it small, and what I try to do at this point over time is move the smaller stuff and replace it with bigger stuff and make a dense collection that's quantitatively small. But I try to increase the quality while leaving the size small, so it's very manageable. And so I don't have that many books in my PC, and I just try to increase the quality of that PC over time without increasing the quantity. It gets tough sometimes, but it's very manageable and stress-free to do it that way. Most of the books I have here are superhero bronze, silver stuff that I sell. So I mean, that's most of what I have anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you're one of the there's two really types of collectors. There's ones like you who try to go high grade, hard to find books, and then there's ones that will go lower grade and try to go deep.
Yeah, I have some good books, but I don't have anything. I don't have like massive books. But where I'm at now compared to where I started when I got back in the hobby like 5 years ago is worlds apart. So I've worked my way up into what is the best PC I've ever had. But there's a long way to go. I mean, I don't have massive books, but I've got cool books. At this point, I'm really happy. I have a lot of cool, rare books.
I'm glad this guy stopped by, DS. Silver Age Dave is in the house, man. It's great to see Silver Age Dave. Hey, the immortal one is here. Dun, 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 dun. He is a real American. But anyway, man, it's great to see Biggie Shack in the house. And Golden Age Guru, getting your channel, you're starting it out, man. A top 50 Golden Age Guru video, that'd be freaking awesome.
What about your PC, Jeff? What would you like that to be down to at some point?
I have a problem letting go. I'll be honest with you. So if I like one book, I like it in dupes. So if I get an opportunity to own one book that I like, then I will like it again and again and again if I can. So for me, that's just how it works. Like I said, I have multiples of certain books just because I had the chance to own it again, and I wouldn't. That's fine for me. My personal isn't huge. My inventory's big, but for my personal, it's maybe 600 books, maybe. Somewhere around there, I don't like. So it's hard to let go. I just have trouble letting go, man. I know it's just stuff. A lot of people might say that, but for me, I just have trouble letting go of certain pieces because I just like them too much.
I mean, there is an advantage to your situation because you get to see books coming into the shop that we're never going to see, and then you can be like, well, this is what I'm buying for me.
Yeah, there you go. Nice round, Paul. Midwest, one of the best rhymers you're ever going to see in the Midwest. Damn. I want to go to Michael. Michael, what's your thoughts, man? What you got going on, man?
Another thing I've been getting good deals on lately are these big art books.
God, that's awesome.
Those things are so great.
These one, I never really got them because they're always like $150 when they come out, or $125 or something. But like this one I picked up for like $60. I think people get tired of trying to sell them and they're a pain to ship, and there's a few that are pretty collectible and expensive, like this Wally Wood one.
Wally Wood, that is so cool.
But they're really fun books. I mean, and if you could get something like this for $75, I mean, there's like tons of pages. So, I mean, I guess you got to like art a lot to be into it, but it's always fun to see.
I'll tell you, Biggie Shack, he knows where it's at. Well, that's swimming with the fishes, but he's a huge Jack Kirby fan, and any oversized Jack Kirby hardcover, black and white, man, that'll make Biggie Shack's night. But all right, Paul, it's come to you. what do you got going on, and then ask your question to the community tonight.
Well, actually, the question is going to wait because I just realized it's going to open a whole can of worms.
All
We
right,
can do a whole show on it.
Well, yeah, save it for next week, man, when
Yep.
JD is back in action, dude.
I've got so many things going on my channel right now. I don't even know which one to do next. I think I'm probably going to do an artist spotlight next, and then maybe another inside the covers. But I'm also planning on doing. It's getting warmer now, so I'm probably going to start doing some spray paint art videos, and just keep tuned in.
That's gonna be freaking awesome, man. Man, look at that one more time. Knights of Old showing it. The freaking Punisher and Cap.
That's awesome. Nice Miller.
Awesome freaking Frank Miller, one of the best. And man, just like the chat, we got to go to sleep now, just like the rest. Fans, This is the Great Legend. This has been Golden, guys. And for DS Comics, Golden Age Guru, Midwest Comic Man, and Knights of Old, this is the Great Legend saying peace out. God bless.